When Maurizio Gucci was murdered in 1995, his daughters Allegra and Alessandra lost their father. They were 14 and 17 years old. 30 years later, another father is dead. And the woman who started it all? She collected $1.2 million a year for 30 years from the man she had killed. Her name is Patrizia Reggiani. She paid $365,000 to have Maurizio murdered. Her goal was simple: collect his money for the rest of her life. For 30 years, the plan worked. But it's 2026, and those daughters are finally fighting back. They're in court right now trying to strip her of every last cent. But here's what makes this story even darker. The restaurant owner she hired to pull the trigger spent 28 years in prison, and prison broke him. Just weeks ago, he shot his own son in the face over a scratch on a car, then turned the gun on himself. He died 7 days later. His son survived and posted on Facebook, "I forgive you for the harm you did to me, but not for what you did to yourself." Patrizia Reggiani didn't just destroy her own family. She destroyed 2 families, took fathers from their children, and 30 years later, the damage is still spreading. To understand how we got here, you need to know who Patrizia Reggiani was before the murder. November 1970, Milan, a society party. She was 23, beautiful, ambitious, and she had her eyes on a prize. His name was Maurizio Gucci, heir to half the Gucci empire. Awkward, shy, and completely captivated by her. He called it love at first sight. She called it an opportunity. Maurizio's father saw right through her, called her an uncouth social climber, threatened to cut Maurizio off completely. Even went to Milan's cardinal to try to stop the wedding. Maurizio chose her anyway, walked away from his inheritance.
Come Maurizio mai. Maurizio è stato il mio unico vero amore.
They married in 1972, and for a while it actually looked like love.
E giuro in giuretta abbiamo organizzato il nostro matrimonio, che è stato uno splendore.
They had 2 daughters, Alessandra in 1977, Allegra in 1981. They lived in penthouses, ski chalets, yachts. Patrizia had everything she wanted: the Gucci name, the Gucci fortune, the Gucci lifestyle, and she wore it like armor. She once said, "I'd rather cry in a Rolls Royce than be happy on a bicycle."
It's better to cry in Rolls Royce than to be happy on a bicycle.
That wasn't a joke. That was her philosophy. Money wasn't just important to Patrizia, it was her identity. In 1983, Maurizio's father died, and suddenly Maurizio inherited 50% of the Gucci company. Overnight, he became one of the most powerful men in fashion. And Patrizia, she became his chief advisor. For a while, they were unstoppable, a power couple, building an empire together. But Maurizio started changing, spending more time at work, less time at home. And Patrizia noticed. 1985. Maurizio tells Patrizia he's going on a business trip to Florence. She packs his bag, kisses him goodbye, and the next day a friend shows up at her door with a message. He's not coming back. He'd met someone else, started an affair, and walked away from their marriage without warning. Left her, left their daughters, just gone. For Patrizia, this wasn't heartbreak. This was war, because in her mind, Maurizio didn't just leave her. He took her identity, her status, her access to the one thing she valued most, the Gucci empire. If you're watching this, you already know how dark this gets. Hit subscribe, because the next part is where Patrizia stops being a victim and becomes a villain. Once the divorce was finalized in 1994, Maurizio agreed to pay her $1.47 million a year in alimony. Most people would take that and move on. But Patrizia wasn't like most people. She wanted more. And under Italian law, as long as Maurizio was alive, she'd never get it. No inheritance, no company shares, just alimony. So she started thinking, what if he wasn't alive? 1992, 3 years before the murder. Patrizia reaches out to Giuseppina Ariema, a psychic she'd been seeing for years. and she requests that changes everything. I need someone eliminated. The psychic knew people, connected her to Ivano Savioni, a pizzeria owner, who connected her to Benedetto Ciraulo, a debt-ridden restaurant owner desperate for money. The price, $365,000 to kill Maurizio Gucci. For 3 years, Patrizia planned. Watched Maurizio's movements. They studied his routine. And on March 27, 1995, she put her plan into action. 8:30 a.m. Maurizio arrives at his office building on Via Palestro. The doorman greets him. He steps into the marble lobby, and Ciraulo is waiting with a gun. 3 shots, 2 in the back, 1 in the head. Maurizio collapses. The doorman tries to help. Ciraulo shoots him too, then runs to a green Renault. The getaway driver floors it, and it's done. The heir to the Gucci empire is dead on the marble floor.
Quindi lui viene colpito alla spalla.
Patrizia gets all, and her reaction tells you everything you need to know about who she really is. She doesn't cry, don't scream. She says 3 words. It was time. That night she wrote in her diary, 1 word, paradise. Not grief, not a shock, paradise. Because for Patrizia, her ex-husband's murder wasn't a tragedy, it was a solution. Within hours, she shows up at Maurizio's apartment. His girlfriend Paola is there with her son, and Patrizia evicts them, takes ownership. Because in her mind, it's her property now, her life, her money. For 2 years, she has played the grieving ex-wife, attends the funeral, collects her $1.2 million annual alimony from his estate, and nobody suspects a thing. The perfect crime, except it wasn't, because investigators were watching. And in 1997, the psychic cracked, told police everything. The meetings, the contract, Patrizia's exact words when she ordered the hit, and the conspiracy unraveled. January 1998, police arrest Patrizia Reggiani. They search her apartment and find her diary. The word paradise stared back at them. Evidence of premeditation, evidence of a cold-blooded killer. The trial becomes a media circus. And Patrizia, she treats it like a fashion show. Shows up in fur coats, designer sunglasses. Play the victim. Claims she couldn't have planned the murder because her eyesight was too bad. The prosecution presents phone records, witness testimony, the psychic, the pizzeria owner, the getaway driver. All of them turn on her. And in 1998, Patrizia Reggiani was convicted of murder.
Sono stata ingenua fino al limite della stupidità. Mi sono trovata coinvolta, mio malgrado, ma mai complice. Questo lo nego ora e lo negherò sempre.
I am 29 years old. Ciraulo gets 28 years. And for the first time since the murder, Patrizia's plan fails. She's in prison. But here's the twisted part. The money keeps coming. $1.2 million every year, even behind bars. As long as the children don't challenge it. And for years, Allegra and Alessandra don't. Because they're torn. They were 14 and 17 when their father was murdered. Now their mother, the woman who killed him, is in prison. And they have to choose. Cut her off or stay loyal? At first, they choose loyalty. They visit her, support her. Allegra even argues that Patrizia had a brain tumor that affected her judgment, that she wasn't in her right mind, and that she's sick, not evil. They defend their mother publicly, but as they get older, something shifts. They start seeing clearly. This isn't a mental illness. This is who she is, a narcissist, a manipulator, a woman who values money more than her own children's father. Meanwhile, Ciraulo is rotting in prison. I am 28 years, day after day, and prison breaks him, destroys whatever humanity he had left. The man who pulled the trigger becomes a shell, angry, violent, broken. 2014. Patrizia is released after 18 years. She's 67. She walks out in a fur coat and tells reporters something chilling. I never ordered the killing, but if I had to do it over, I'd do it again. No remorse, no regret, just defiance. And her daughters? They cut her off completely. No calls, no visits, no relationship. After everything they did to support her, they finally see who she really is. Patrizia complains to the media, "I have nothing. My children won't help me." Nothing. While collecting $1.2 million a year, while living in a luxury apartment, while shopping at designer stores in Milan, she walks her parrot, shops on Via Monte Napoleone, lives glamorously. She doesn't seem to understand why her daughters want nothing to do with her, because in Patrizia's world, she's the victim. Always. Allegra finally speaks publicly, and what she says is devastating. "Personally, I think my mother has narcissistic personality disorder mixed with other things." Her own daughter. The daughters inherit $400 million each. Yachts, penthouses, chalets in St. Moritz. But they disappear, change their names in some circles, move to Switzerland, hide from the surname that destroyed them. While Patrizia lives in luxury, Serrallo is released in 2024. He's 70, broken, no money, no life to return to. He moves in with his son, and 30 years of rage starts leaking out. February 2026. A scratch appears on the car. His son did it. A minor accident. He grabs a gun, shoots his own son in the face. The son collapses, and Serrallo turns the gun on himself. Tries to end it all. He's rushed to the hospital, clings to life for 7 days, then dies. His son survives. Posts on Facebook, "I forgive you for the harm you did to me, but not for what you did to yourself." A son forgiving his father for trying to murder him. That's the damage Patrizia caused. 2 fathers dead, 2 families shattered. Maurizio's daughters orphaned and traumatized. Serrallo's son scarred forever. And Patrizia, still in Milan, still glamorous, still collecting blood money. But 2024 brings a change. After 30 years of silence, Allegra and Alessandra file a lawsuit. They want to terminate Patrizia's alimony, not reduce it, end it, strip her of every last cent. Their argument? She murdered their father, she was convicted, she served time, and they want justice. Finally, after 3 decades, Patrizia's lawyers fight back. She was married to him. The alimony is a legal right. And as of 2026, the case continues. Patrizia still collecting, still fighting, still refusing to give up the money. Think about what Patrizia has lost. Her husband, gone by choice. Her daughters, gone by her own actions. Her freedom, 18 years in prison. Her reputation, globally known as the Black Widow. And now, her daughters are trying to take the one thing she has left, the money, the blood money she killed for. This is who Patrizia Reggiani is. And Patrizia walks the streets of Milan, glamorous and alone, clinging to blood money. If you want more stories about the scandals of the rich, subscribe to Mr. Pivot, because the darker the money, the better the story. The court case continues. The daughters keep fighting.